Welcome back. So in this part we cover how we can insert tables within a LaTeX document. In order to insert table we need the table environment. However, this is slightly different as we will basically insert a sub environment within the main table environment. So let us start with if we look at the PDF. Here I have already inserted a table and I will basically demonstrate this step by step. I will start from scratch and we will see how we can get this table into a PDF. So over here I have already inserted the table, but now let me do it again. So let me say section. Here we insert tables and we will demonstrate how we can insert tables within LaTeX. So in order to start this and in order to create a table environment, what we do is we say begin table and we hit the enter button. It automatically inserts the in table keyword for us. Let me move this below, and now let me remove everything between the environment so we can describe this step by step. So now we say begin table and in table. Within this environment we need to have a second environment that is known as tabular. So I would say begin tabular and end tabular. Again, let me remove everything inside the environment for now. So it says begin tabular and end tabular. So now the actual contents of the table will appear between these two keywords. So here I can type the actual contents of the table. So usually in table we have this first row where we have the headings for each column. So I can say the heading for the first column is student name, and then we separate the two columns by the keyword, the symbol and. So it will move the contents to the next column, and here I can say marks obtained, and let me finish this row for now. In order to finish the row we basically use two double backslash sign, and now we move to the next row and we say okay, student number 1, and he has obtained, for example, 80 marks. Now we move to the next row and we say student 2, and he has obtained, for example, 87 marks, and then say student number 3, and for example she has obtained for 85 marks. So now we can compile this table, but before compiling it we need to specify some additional parameters over here. Just after the tabular environment we need to specify whether we would like to have the text aligned towards the left of the column, in the center of the column, or towards the right of the column. So let me put it towards the left of the column for now. So that we can do by saying okay, brace is open, brace is closed, and I would say left and left. Now if I compile this, we can see that it has inserted a table for us that basically appears over here, and it says student name, student 1, student 2 and 3, and marks obtained. However, for now this table does not look very appealing, so we need to basically kind of do formatting for the table. So where do we start? The first thing we want to have is to have horizontal lines after each row and also before the rows, and that we can do by using this keyword hline just before the first row, and then after the second row, and after the next row. Basically we do it after each row So now if I compile it, I can see that it has basically inserted these horizontal rows after horizontal lines after each row. And similarly, if you would like to have vertical bars or vertical lines around the table and between each column, that we can do by using this part which I have highlighted on the screen. So here I can put a vertical bar. This vertical bar symbol is just next to the shift button on my keyboard, but you need to check your keyboard, but basically it is a vertical bar. Just on my keyboard it is just the same button as the backslash. With a shift I can put the vertical bar and then another vertical bar and then another vertical bar. And now if I compile this table again, so I can see that it has put vertical lines as well around the table. And the next thing we would like to do is to align this entire table in the center of the column in the center of the page vertically. So I can say, just immediately after the begin table, I can say centering, and it will put the table in the center of the page vertically. What else can we control? So if we look at this table, the table in the source document appears after the equation. So let's say after this line and after the section heading. But in the PDF it is basically at a different location. So we can control the location of the table by specifying these parameters or these options. So here I say within square bracket I would say H, and H is kind of telling the LaTeX to put the table exactly at this same location. So now if I compile it, so I can see that it has inserted the table immediately after this line within LaTeX. And now let me put some more text. Let us insert a third column, and for that column again the text is aligned towards the left vertical bar, and here I can say comments about student. Now for the first student I put some comments. Let's say this is some lengthy comment. The class behavior of the student, and let me put similar comments for each student in each row. So I would say and I can say and. Now we have a third column where we have put comments, and we see that this third column has some text which does not fit into the width of the column properly. In the original table we see that it is perfectly fitting within the width of the column. However, in this new table we see that it is going beyond the page limit, so we need to control the width of this column. So the way we do it is coming to this line where we have specified the alignment of the text. Instead of using this word L, we can say P, and then within braces we specify the width of the column, and let me put the width equal to 5 centimeter. Now if we look at the PDF, it has generated a table where we have the third column with a width of 5 centimeter exactly, and we can also control the width of the first column just in case we need to. So we can say P, and let me assign it a width of 1 centimeter. So I can say P 1 centimeter, and let us see what happens. So we can see that it has assigned a width of 1 centimeter to the first column. In a similar way we can basically control the width of the second column, and I can say 1.5 centimeter, and now let us see what happens. So it has assigned a width of 1.5 centimeter to the second column. So this is how we can control the width of the column in case the text does not fit within the column itself. And we can also assign a label to the table, we can assign caption to the table. So the way we do it, so I can say if we need to have a caption for this table, so I can say this is our first table for students marks. And for the original table which I had earlier in the PDF, I can say, just to differentiate it from the new table, I can say this was the original table. Now we have two tables in this document, and LaTeX will automatically take care of the numbering of the table. So for the first table it automatically says table 1, this is our first table. For the second table it automatically says table 2, and this was the original table. Let me remove this section title because it can be confusing to read. So now we can see that we have two tables, and the table appear in an ascending order. We can control the position of the table. Here we have forced the table to appear immediately after the text, but if this is not what we wish to do, if we would have the table to be on the top of the page, we can say T, and it will force the LaTeX to put the table on the top of the page. So now we see that it appears on the top of the page, and similarly if we wish it to be at the bottom of the page, we can say B, and it will basically put the table at the bottom of the page. And by the way, we can use the similar kind of position control for figure environment as well, just by specifying within square brackets, specifying the position of the table or the position of the figure. Now this is an easy demonstration of tables within LaTeX environment. In many cases we may have a situation where we have multiple number of rows which basically are associated with a single row in first column. So for that we need to have a multi-row environment, but that I will demonstrate in the next part. So thank you for watching this. Please do practice so we can have a good understanding of the next part. Goodbye for now.